Baby steps?
It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Oh boy.
Baby steps.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay, and welcome back to the podcast, or if this is your first time listening to it, just welcome. I wanted to do an episode 2, and for a long time I struggled. I didn't know what to talk about. I had some ideas. There was one thing in particular I wanted to talk about, and what I wanted to talk about was What About Bob? Because the namesake of the podcast, Baby Steps Out the Door, it's a line straight out of that movie. And yesterday, I actually spent about 90 minutes trying to talk about What About Bob and having a really hard time doing so. I think I did okay for the most part, but it's incomplete. I only talked about maybe the first half of the movie, and then I just kind of ran out of things to say. I haven't seen the movie in about a month, and last time I watched it, I did take some notes while watching it, but for some reason, I just didn't finish taking notes. There are a lot of things about that movie I wanted to talk about, and this is something that I also wanted to do as part of this podcast. Like every other episode or every so often, I would talk about a movie that I really connect with, that I really relate to, and it'll usually be about a character that just either has an anxiety or fears, something that makes me go, what is this character doing in this movie, and how do they reach the end of it, either becoming a better person or not changing who they are, but finding a way to take those insecurities and have them somehow work to their advantage. Because there is like a pretty good list of movies, like a dozen movies right now that I have that I would love to talk about. And here's another thing. When I tried doing that with What About Bob, not only was it that I just ran out of notes, I ran out of things to talk about, it was incredibly difficult to talk about it with just myself. I felt like I was just recapping the movie, and every so often I'd be like, yep, that's something I go through. Yep, that checks out. And that was it. It didn't feel right. That's something that I'd have to really work on and plan if I'm gonna go forward and do something like that, which I would really like to. I watch a lot of movies. I would love to be able to talk about them, because most of the time when I watch a movie, the feeling that I get from it sticks with me. I do end up forgetting a lot about it. Character names, settings, subplots, I'll forget a lot. But there are some movies that I do like to rewatch, and there are some movies that do leave an impression on me. So I could go through those, talk about those. So that didn't work out so much yesterday. It's coming up on about 2 weeks since I uploaded my last episode. I didn't say it in the last episode, but I sort of wanted to try to upload one every 2 weeks. I think that might be, I don't know if it would be harder or easier as I keep doing these. Harder to just think of things to say, or easier just to, now I'm getting more used to editing. Now I should be able to get the episodes out faster. But the issue that I had with that first episode and why it took so long to put it out is because for a long time, I did not know what to say. It's something I wanted to do since January of this year. And I tried to I actually wrote down a bunch of stuff that I thought would be cool to talk about. And something I did was I did a test recording, which was 10 minutes or something of me just rambling, and I didn't like the way it sounded. It sounded very rehearsed, like I was reading off a page or something, which, to be fair, the version of episode 1 that I uploaded also kind of sounds like that. I didn't read off anything. It was just a lot of bullet points and also kind of trying to remember the things that I said in that test recording. But yeah, it took me It took me, I think, 2 months maybe before I decided to just go ahead and record something, anything. And doing that test, that 10-minute test, while it was awful, while I did not like it at all, it gave me the courage to record another one. And that was the one that I ended up uploading. Yeah, the editing is a little rough on that thing. There are a couple of things that I can't even remember exactly what it was, but there are a couple of things that I said where I'm like, oh, I don't think there's enough context there for what I was talking about. But you know what? This is my first time doing anything like this. I've never done a podcast before, never edited audio before. This is all stuff that is brand new to me, and this is all stuff I'm doing on my own. So as I'm doing this, as I'm learning, I should get better at this. So this is a learning experience for me. I'm hoping the more often I do this, the better I'm going to get at it, the quicker I'm going to be able to get episodes out. That'd be really nice. It took me, I think it was like 2 weeks to edit that first episode. I had about an hour worth of stuff to go through. I had to cut out a lot of moments where I just wasn't saying anything, or moments where I was just repeating myself too often. And because of that, yes, there are some things that I left out where it's like, yeah, I could have added something else to this, but like I couldn't go back and record everything because when I tried to, my voice sounded so much louder than everything else that I had recorded. In fact, I was actually sick for the past week, so that also made it really difficult for me to even get out another episode out. It's like, okay, I have an idea, I know what I want to talk about, let me record that, but my voice is just so awful that I can't. So for episode 2, which was originally going to be a, I guess, character analysis of Bob Wiley from What About Bob, what I think it's going to be about now is procrastination. Because this is an episode that I had 2 weeks, I gave myself 2 weeks to think of something to talk about. And I thought, okay, gonna upload this on the Thursday, 2 weeks after I uploaded that first episode. At the time that I'm recording this, that Thursday is tomorrow. Today is April 9th. It is a little bit after 9 p.m. So something that I'm going to try to do, something I'm going to challenge myself to do. Because I guess this episode 2 is kind of like an explanatory episode about episode 1, which is fine. You know, I'm cool with that. I just want to get used to talking. I want to get used to podcasting and put something out there. So this one doesn't have to be anything special. It could be like a life update, but not much has really happened so far in the past few weeks. There's not a lot to talk about. I'm doing stuff. It's just nothing too exciting, nothing crazy. Something I'm going to try to do, something I'm going to challenge myself to do, is as soon as I finish recording this episode, I'm going to edit it down. And I'm trying my best right now to make sure there aren't any gaps and I'm not repeating myself so that I can edit this down as easily as possible. I want this to be just like a very laid back, kind of just saying whatever comes to my mind sort of podcast. First episode, introductory episode. I had a list of things I wanted to talk about, so that's all I'm trying to get out there. And I really only want to record up to maybe like 20 or 30 minutes of stuff, because if I record any more, it's going to be really difficult to edit this thing. Because even though I think I only did like 45 minutes to an hour in the first episode, that took me 2 weeks to whittle down into like 15 minutes, like 14, 15 minutes. You know, everything that I should be saying should be off the cuff. I mean, yes, they should be things that I want to talk about, but it should also not feel like I'm reading off of something or like it's rehearsed, because that's something I didn't really like about that first episode. I wasn't reading off of anything, but I did have these bullet points, and I was trying to recall as much as I could from that test recording that I did. I mean, it really should come as no surprise, especially if you listen to that first episode, that I'm real bad procrastinator. I mean, you could almost say that, like, you know, these past 3 years that I've been trying to do stuff to get my life together, I've been procrastinating. And that's, you know, it's fair to assume that, and I won't say that's entirely incorrect. But there is this thing where it's like I sort of almost need to figure out for me what the difference between not doing something because I'm afraid and not doing something because I'm lazy or I just don't feel like doing it. In addition to trying to edit this episode down in like a day and seeing if I can upload it, and I hope it doesn't affect my sleep, it probably will. And I have stuff going on tomorrow as well, so it's going to be difficult to do that. I mean, I'll have to do it in the morning if I don't do it tonight, but I'm going to try my best to do it because it's something I want to do. I want to challenge myself. That's something that I really need to start doing. Is stop convincing myself that I can't do something before I even try it, or that because it seems too difficult that I just don't even bother with it. Something that also makes it really easy for me to procrastinate is that I just kind of lay in bed all day. Even after getting the new medication, even after trying to do stuff in these past few months to really get my life on track, I just lay in bed all day. and I still am just glued to the computer, and it's really hard to just sort of push it away. But some things that I am doing on my laptop is trying to find different outlets, different places that I can go to, or even just like certain Zoom meetings that I can be a part of to help me with talking more and socializing a bit more. Yeah, not everything that I'm doing is in person, but it's important for me that I get used to talking with strangers and that I get comfortable with situations where I have to just sort of come up with something to say. So really that's what I've been doing for really the past month, is just trying to find different places, different events, different things that I'm into that I can be a part of that make it easier for me to just start talking to people and socialize and make some connections. Because procrastination is such a problem for me that I rarely get out of bed. I pretty much just get out of bed to eat and use the bathroom. That's about it. That's really bad. That's not healthy. This is something that I should have been working on, not just sooner in the year, but sooner in my life. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set myself a goal. It's not going to be one of the 4 main goals that I listed in the previous episode. It's going to be a smaller goal, but still just as important. And it's one that I can start doing right away. And this is a thought that I had before I started recording. This is a thought that I had after that failed What About Bob thing that I tried doing the other day. It didn't work out. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I could talk about this. Maybe I can do this. When I wake up tomorrow, and it's something that I'm going to start doing every single morning that I wake up. No screens. No phone. No laptop. No TV. For at least an hour. I'm going to see if I can do that. And I know it's going to be difficult because every time I wake up, the first thing I do is just open my laptop and just waste an hour on YouTube or checking emails or just doing whatever random stuff I can think of. And I know it's bad. I know the laptop thing is bad because there are so many times where I'm wasting like an hour or 2 hours just trying to find something to do where it's like, oh, I feel like I have nothing right now to do. So I'm just clicking around things instead of doing something else. I can close the laptop. I can read a book. I can do my laundry or something. But no, instead I'm just like, no, I'm trying desperately to find something to do on my laptop, and I can't. And there are so many hours that I waste just trying to find something to do and not doing anything. So this is what I'm going to do. An hour every day, first thing in the morning. No screens. And I will start with an hour. I might do more later on, but I'm going to start with an hour because in an hour, there's a lot of stuff I can do. I can, have breakfast. I can brush my teeth. I can pick up any mess around my room. I can read a book. I have way too many books on my shelf. And I keep buying way too many books. Stuff that I want to read, but I'm not making any attempt to read. So if I'm giving myself an hour in the morning, even if I don't eat or brush my teeth right away, I could just read a little bit. Even just one chapter of a book. I think that'd be really cool if I just woke up in the morning and the first thing I did was just read a chapter of a book that is sitting on my shelf. I think that'd be fantastic, and that's something that I want to start doing. So that's going to be my goal. So I'm challenging myself with 2 things. One is recording this episode on April 9th after 9 p.m. and uploading it the next day. Seeing if I can edit it down to something that is worth putting out there. Second challenge is first thing in the morning, no screens. Anything but screens. Doesn't matter what I do, just no screens. I could go out and walk for an hour if I wanted to, just as long as I don't go near any of those distractions that I'm trying to avoid. Which means if I don't edit this thing tonight, I'm basically losing an hour that I can edit it tomorrow, so hopefully I can get this done in like 2 hours. But yeah, these are going to be my goals for the next 2 weeks, and maybe it's going to help me just want to get out of bed and start doing more things, be more active. And I think this will help with my bigger goals. So this is what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll report back in 2 weeks, say how it's going, see how this, giving myself an hour break from screens every day, or at least in the morning, works out. If I decide to give it up, or if I decide to even do more than an hour a day, who knows? That's something that I'm going to look forward to see how this all works out. I still want to do the What About Bob thing, because that's on my list of things to talk about. And because Baby Steps Out the Door, namesake of the podcast, comes straight from What About Bob, it is an episode I want to do, so I will get to that eventually. It's going to be tough. It might be something that I just have to, watch the movie again, take better notes, take more notes, and take better notes. and just go for it. So I got stuff. I'm setting myself a couple of goals, a couple of challenges to do. See if I can do that. And in 2 weeks, we'll go from there. But until then, my name is Jay, and bye for now.